Hi, and welcome back to my channel. We're playing Cities Skylines 2, and we're building the city of Springville. The goal for today's episode is to reach 10,000 people living in this fantastic city. Also, trying to reach the next level, the level 8 of the city, but we'll see what happens. First of all, I did some work in the city, speeding through the process of me placing down multiple houses and roads in the city. I thought it was a good idea not to show you this because it took me like maybe an hour to finish all this. No, not an hour. I think 45 minutes is the time I spent building and placing all the green stuff that is appearing on the screen right now. I found it quite interesting to speed up the process, so I put it in this video anyway because I spent so much time doing this, and it is a really, really big expansion to the city. But during my build and expansion, I got distracted multiple times. So, like here, I found a accident on the newly placed highway. Guess that would happen more now that they are getting to and from places at a higher speed. Took quite a while for the rescue workers, the police and stuff, to arrive at the scene, and the other cars didn't really get anywhere in one of the lanes, but the other lane it was just like, well, just go past the police. And the police was like, no need to close this road right now, so guess the road would be closed in real life. But yeah, accidents happen, and I hope everything went okay with the people involved. And if not, well, then we have both medical clinics and cemeteries in the city. But yeah, continuing my expansion of the city, I did this thing. I took a road, made it cross above the highway that was already in the game when I started playing. Kind of annoys me that this highway is just one road and not two roads, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it is just, I think eventually I'm going to have to do something about that road and see how I can. I don't know if there is a need for the road in the way it is right now, but yeah. Also, spending some time making this area. I think this is more of it's a mixed area, but with the some wavy, bendy roads and some straight roads. So the original thought was to make this the same as the other area I have made, but I the the building went the other way, so it ended up being something like this. But also ended up placing down police and a fire department in this area just so it's closer to the other areas and that there is a larger coverage of those services in the city. And actually, the demands for different stuff in the city went up, so I was able to place down a few of these medium density residential buildings also. And I think that's the main reason why the original thought changed to to this being more of a mixed area of the city. So I think it turned out quite good. And here we had some traffic issues starting to form. I'm not sure if it is due to the large number of people arriving in town, or if it's due to the fact that this is the only road leading to the industrial area. I guess it must be the last one because there is a lot of people going to work in that place now. So I would also eventually have to look at an expansion of the area, and maybe I will just change the entire area and see how that works out. Although the ground below would be heavily polluted right now, so I don't know. I don't know how to solve this one because I'm not happy about that area. And like I said, the goal or main goal of this episode and this play time or this expansion is that I want to reach 10,000 people living in the city. And we're closing in on that, but I'm just spending some time seeing if the expansion I already did would make the population go up to 10,000 without me placing down more buildings because I was kind of tired of placing down buildings and running out of ideas on where to put them as long as it was just the low demand that was high, or not low demand but low density residential buildings, because I felt like there was enough buildings like that in this area. So but also I spent some money on the placement of parks in different areas, and I also unlocked with the development points. I unlocked the sports parks and the I think it's the larger parks, and placing down some of them just to make the land value and the happiness of the people higher, trying to make this a happy city. But there is a lot of people coming into the town right now and moving in, and that is, I'm happy to see that. Although I think maybe this area is a little bit messy, I think it will wrap up good in the end when I get the thoughts sorted out on how this actually will end up, because I'm not finished with this yet. And then we encountered a larger problem, which made my heart jump out of my chest almost, because the power, we need more power to the city and it's expensive, and I don't want to place down another coal plant or the power plant. So I had to use some of my development points on the incinerator plant, just so that we can burn the garbage and make power. And hopefully that would solve the issue of the power being on overload at this point with the large number of people moving into the city. And I was kind of stressed out at this point because there was also the snow was beginning to come in. So I did not, I know that the incinerator plant is expensive. It's you have to pay 1 million for that one. So I didn't notice at this point that the money just, it disappeared. Or it didn't disappear, but this is, this is a crisis for me with the low amount of money. And we were just 100 away from being 10,000. So I was like, oh no, not the power going out and people just moving out because there is no power in the winter and it's cold and it's snowy, and yeah. So it is, I needed to do this, but it made a huge impact on the funds of the city. And it takes some time before this one starts to produce power. And at this point, we have reached 10,000, but I'm still worried that people might leave due to the power situation. And I also am aware that there will be a bottleneck situation with the power as I'm placing them down at the same place. But in my head, the plan was to buy the tiles beside of the industrial area, just to make another road from that area I just built to the industrial area. But I haven't got the money to do that right now. But in the end, the incinerator plant started working, or it started producing power, and we were saved by that. So now we have power to the rest of the city, or all the city. But the money is going up quite fast as there is a lot of income to the city right now. So it's not a big crisis, but as I have said previously, I like having 1 million in funds just to be able to handle crisis like this. But yeah, and just admiring the view of the city in the snow. I'm over snow. I'm finished with winter. So I was kind of bummed out that the winter was coming to the city. But it's still beautiful to watch the city in the snow. And but I kind of was annoyed by or I was confused by the graphics of the houses and the gardens of the houses, which aren't receiving any snow when it snows outside, because my garden, when it snows, is filled with snow, just like the rest of the town is filled with snow. So this actually made me go outside yesterday and start picking or just chiseling away on the ice that is in our driveway, trying to make the snow disappear. So I was inspired to make my garden this green as I wanted this. I want my garden to be clear of snow in the winter when there's snow everywhere else, but I guess that's just in this game. But there isn't a lot of issues in the city right now, although I think the name for this level, Busy Town, is quite describing because it gets busier when the town gets this big. And there is a lot more to handle and a lot more you have to think about than in the beginning when there's just a few people living there. There's just much more happening. And I'm kind of waiting it out just to see if we're far from reaching the next level, the level 8, and trying to figure out how to get there fastest without spending money, because I hadn't any money to spend, and the only demand that was really something I could do something about was the low density residential buildings, and I didn't want to do them right now. So so just trying to figure out how to get more points to get higher up in the level to receive the high density buildings, also residential buildings, because there has been some demand for the high density residential buildings popping up at some points of the game. But ending up placing some parks just randomly around to see if that can help me in some way to get more demand in the city. And it's kind of just ending up quite random where I place them. And also earlier I placed down the wastewater treatment plant, and trying to get rid of the smelly water that is going in the water, because I want to use the waterways, and I don't like the color of the water where the wastewater is pumped into the water. But there is actually quite a high demand for offices in the city, so placing down one of them, or a patch where they can form, and that I don't know if that was what made it, but yeah, we reached level 8 of the city, and that gives us loads of money and more land to buy, and more development points for us to further develop the city. So I was quite happy with that. But with all this done, I'll end this episode here, and not placing down the high density residential buildings, and trying to figure out what my next move will be in Springville. And I hope to see you again. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.